Hey, what's up, guys? This is just a quick little video on how to do problems 10 and 11 on the week 11 quiz access assignment. I do apologize. Am, I may not be as eloquent as usual. I have hardly slept at all this week, so just bear with me here. So this one's actually more straightforward than I expected. So for the first part on part A of problem 10, this is basically just going to be data entry. So down here, you have the columns accounts receivable, percent uncollectible, and so forth. So you're just going to go up to this little diagram here and it gives you the numbers. Okay. So so this number right here, the 655,000, that's very important. That's the total accounts receivable. So keep that in mind. We'll refer to this in a little bit here. But anyway, for the first one down here, under the not due row, that's going to be 413,000 for the accounts receivable. The percent uncollectible for that one is 3%. And it's basically the same the way over on these ones down here. You just kind of go right. So 1 to 30, 107,000, 4%. Likewise, 31 to 60, 53,000, 7%, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, 61 to 90, 35,000, 9%. Over 90, 47,000, 12%. Okay, and then that gives us the estimated balance of allowances for uncollectibles. That's going to be 29,170. This is also a very important number for the next part of the problem. So on this one here, B and C. So what we did here was we took, for these numbers here, we took this prior number here, right? The estimated balance of allowances for uncollectibles, the 29,170. And so what we did here for these numbers is you go up here on part B, and if you see this number, 5,300, so it says here, assume the unadjusted balance in the allowance for doubtful accounts is a $5,300 credit. So basically you just subtract this number, 5,300, from our 29,100 estimated balance of allowance for uncollectibles. And that's what gives you this number. And because allowance for doubtful accounts is a contra asset account, that's going to be put under credit. And of course, bad debts expense is going to be a debit. Okay, cool. So the next part, same thing really, only this time we're adding instead of subtracting. So this one here, part C, says prepare the adjusting entry to record bad debts expense using the estimate from part A. So again, we're going to refer to this number here, 29,170. It says assume the unadjusted balance in the allowance for doubtful accounts is a $1,800 debit. So in that case, we're literally just going to be adding 1,800 onto 29,170. And that gives us down here the answer of 30,970. And again, because allowance for doubtful accounts is a contra asset account, we put it under credit. And of course, expenses go under debit. So that's part 10. And again, for these, I refer to this section of the reading. This is going to be page 144, 145, and 146. Okay, and then 11 follows a very similar pattern. So, okay, so for this one here, this one says estimate the balance of the allowance for doubtful accounts, assuming the company uses 5% of total accounts receivable to estimate uncollectibles instead of the aging of receivables method. So this is where that 655,000 number is so important. So I'm just going to whip out my calculator real quick. So take 655,000 and times it by 0.05. That gives you $32,750 for the estimated balance. So basically, you're just taking this number, total accounts receivable, and basically timing that by 5%. That gives you this number, and that's going to be a credit as well. Okay, so this one here, very similar to the other one. So for December 31st, it says prepare the adjusting entry to record bad debts expense using the estimate from Part A. Assume that the unadjusted balance in the allowance for doubtful accounts is a $13,700 credit. Okay, so again, we're going to be referring to that $32,750, that number. So we're just going to be subtracting $13,700 from that $32,750. And that gives us $19,050. And again, I keep repeating this, but I believe in repetition. That's how you learn things. Allowance for doubtful accounts, contra asset count, so it goes under credit. Debts expense, it's an expense account, so it's going to go to debit. Same thing here, but reversed. So this one here, prepare the adjusting entry to record bad debts expense using the estimate from Part A. Assume the unadjusted balance in the allowance for doubtful accounts is a $2,700 debit. So we're actually going to add instead of subtract. So, and I'll show you how I get this number. So again, I take that $32,750 and then I'm going to add 2,700 onto it, plus 2,700. That gives you 35,450. So that's just a little quick run through of how I did it. And again, refer to the textbook on pages, well, I used 144, 145, and 146, but really just, you can find this stuff on multiple sections in here. So these little diagrams here are very helpful. Kind of shows you how it's done. So yeah, again, I apologize if I was a little bit all over the place. I am running on a few hours of sleep this week, so hope this was helpful. And I'm just gonna stop recording right now.